Hey, welcome back to the Scorpio channel. My name is Laura. If you're new to the channel, I'm going to do a general message for Scorpio. Know that energy is fluid, so roles can be reversed. Always interpret the message as it best resonates, especially on this channel where I like to go deep. So we also look at the spiritual blocks, the shadows, and see how they play out as karmic themes within your experience. Now, you need to take that into consideration if you want to enter into winning a free reading with me. Now, if you do, you got to also like the video, subscribe to the channel, and write the word of the video in your comment bar. The first word is always the word of the video, okay? It's the underlining energy that tells me why everyone's doing what they're doing. We want to know this when we are looking at the shadows. Because a lot of times we're connected to someone that'll do something that we're like, okay, you have feelings for me, but you just treated me like shit. Or you're supposed to like me, but you hurt me. So again, we don't understand. By allowing ourselves to see why a person is doing what they're doing, it allows us to like take the bad feelings that we a lot of times get off of us. What am I trying to say? A lot of times when you're dealing with a person that that is hurtful, it's a way to again put the behavior, the action back onto that person, not for us to take meaning to it. Because a lot of times when people are not good to us, what happens is that we then tend to ask ourselves why they treated us that way, and then begin to look at ourselves like we're searching for the reason as if we actually did something. They make us feel unworthy. They make us feel not good enough. And that's how. So unconsciously, we then, again, like I said, are looking for the answer when really it has nothing to do with us. And in order to shape shift any situation, we have to see the situation from a different perception. Well, that was a mouthful. I got in my own way there a little bit. So the readings go deep because of that. We understand why a person does what they do and how that triggers us. And why is it triggering us? What is the spiritual meaning to why this person has come into our life? And what are we supposed to do with the leftover emotional energy that a lot of times when you're not going to be with this person because the person's imbalanced to the point that you really can't be with them. What are we supposed to do with this leftover energy that a lot of times we feel? And it's really to transmute that energy, that we have to channel that energy into something. Otherwise, it becomes more of a spiritual block, attracting more of the same types of people and situations into our life that make us stay stuck in a certain thought pattern. And that thought pattern is disempowering. It's a thought pattern that makes us feel again as if we can't have, makes us feel limited, makes us feel not good enough. And when we don't integrate the spiritual lesson, it just means we never saw why that person was able to make us feel that way, because no one can make you feel any way unless you have a spiritual block inside of you. See, that's the thing. When you're not blocked, a person can project their negativity onto you, project who they are onto you, but you won't take it personally if you don't have those wounds. You won't give it any mind. You'll actually laugh at it. It's when we give something energy that it forms an attachment. And I'm feeling like, Scorpio, that you're connected to a person that wants to like form an attachment. They don't know how to be in a regular relationship. The only way that they know how to be in a relationship is like where they're in a trauma bond type of relationship where they're the person that has all the power, that they're the runner, that they're the avoidant style type. So you're like, you never be able to get emotionally comfortable in this type of relationship. So before I even get started, this is the energy. Maybe that's why Spirit wanted me to say everything that I said, why I channeled what I channeled, and how I got in my own way. This is how the person gets in their own way. They sabotage themselves because they can't get out of their own way. So feeling like the word is going to be narcissism, because it's, again, when I look down, that was the word there. But let's just see, because there's a bit of an energy of narcissism when a person is that unhappy and they project unhappiness. Trauma bonds are that way. They're where it's a constant, like, betrayal and then making up for that betrayal. It's always like where it's like an addictive an attachment, where you have two people, and two people need to be on the same vibration in order to connect. And like I said, one's an avoidance style and the other is really needy, really emotionally needy. And so it's a runner chaser style, and the avoidance style is mainly because the person grew up with parents that, like, that couldn't navigate their own life, that were in bad relationships. They were in trauma bond relationships. They had issues with money. They had issues navigating their life. And so they actually inherited this trauma because they go into relationships almost like seeking out to save someone, to fix someone. And that's not really the energy that they want. It's not the energy, because again, it creates a lot of codependency where this person is not strong within themselves. So we're going to see why, again, I'm channeling all that. Again, that narcissism energy. Now, if you didn't like that word that you wanted to put in the comment bar, we're going to pull another one, which is just anger. And that's, again, when a person is like, keeps continuing to create the same undesirable life experiences, because narcissism is pretty much that. Trauma bonds are just that, where you are stuck in a connection with a person that doesn't want to emotionally give, but still wants love, but still needs validation, that still is attention seeking, that still has addictions, because understand, it doesn't feel good to be angry all the time. Anger means we feel like someone ruined our life, where we feel like someone did something to us, but really no one can do anything to us. It's that we do it. So even though I feel like this person tends to go into relationships with the best intention, because they form this attachment style, and they're a bit narcissistic, they don't really they don't have any balance. So what they keep manifesting is the same types of toxic experiences. And I feel like we're connected to someone that was trying to form that with you, was what I was trying to say. And you weren't really, it's that, like, you're not, like, they're not able to do it, is what I'm trying to get at. Felt like someone was knocking for a second. Okay, so let's see actually what, again, this is the underlining energy. It's either narcissism or anger, but it's pretty much the same way. And it's because, again, when people are narcissists, a lot of times they're so insecure, they don't make their own choices. It's like they're influenced by the people that are around them, the people that they want to be associated with. Yes, a lot of times they're also with people that they believe are less than them, people that will form the attachment to feed their ego, but they also want to be seen a certain way by the public. So they'll hang out with people to give them that image, that facade. However, those people, again, are the same vibration and they're phony and they get bad advice and they don't have a sense of self. This person doesn't feel safe. Narcissism is always that the person is connected to a person that they perceive is better than them, or again, has attributes that they don't have. So they're going to be seen a certain way. However, when we're not at the same vibration, and we don't have any spiritual awareness, we're very easily influenced. And I feel like, again, your person is influenced and they're really like, they're being told to, really do and give for like for the good of, the family, the good of what the, again, whether they're friends, whether they're whatever it is, to instead of live their true self, instead of go off on their own. So I believe that this is also another reason why they're angry, because they're like, I don't really want to live this life. So again, they're torn because everybody still has a spirit part of self. Now you may be like, what does this have to do with me? Well, I feel like you're in separation from this person and they have feelings for you. However, they're not living their life. They're living, again, they're being influenced by people around them, whether it's people that they work with, whether it's family, whether it's friends, people around them. And this person doesn't have a good sense of self. And the thing is, when people are narcissists, why they don't have good relationships is because perception, what we tend to see and what we perceive we want in the moment is not what we are going to want later on in life. It's again, when you're in a genuine relationship, it ebbs and flows. You're able to go with the flow. This person wants whoever to be in their life to be, again, almost an extension of them, to not have their own needs, wants, desires, but do everything for them. And now what I feel like is things have changed within your person's life. It's like where it doesn't work for them. These people don't work for them. This life doesn't work for them. Whatever they had made their permanency of, and again, their permanency is how they wanted people to perceive them through their job, through what they do in the community. Again, the facade isn't really working for them because, again, it also connects them to these people that are influencing this person and has always influenced this person. So now they're being challenged because it's like they don't feel good. It's making them angry. It's making them, like they say, it's like, this isn't really what I want. And again, it's like these people, like for a long time, like were able to keep your person in the dark. Like this person just is unaware of like who the people are that are surrounding them. And so again, wanting to fit in, wanting to be accepted, wanting to be seen a certain way, they're really like screwing themselves because the people that are influencing your person don't have their best interest at hand, because this is, don't give in to temptation, right? And that temptation would be you. So I believe that your person has talked to people about you. They might not have said your name. They might not have said like who you are, but said, I have feelings. I don't really want to be connected anymore. I want to make some changes. And those people are like, no, because again, it's going to affect us. Because I feel like either your person has money in a business, has money in a home, has money somewhere, and it's again in them changing, going off onto their own. Well, again, changes the dynamic of everybody else, and no one wants that. Only your person wants that, and your person made decisions based on what they perceived was going to be the glamorous, great life a long time ago. And they sold their soul to the devil. They sold their soul to people that own them, which is why they're a bit narcissistic now, because they're like, well, no one cares about me. And here I was coming in to help everyone. That's why we were able to create this. Now I want to go off and do my own thing, and now I can't. So your person separated from you is again because they're like are locked in somewhere, it seems. So if you're wondering why, and that could be they were married, they could be in a connection with someone else and have kids or have something where it's like, oh, you're not going anywhere. And because this person that your person was connected to is connected to a lot of other people that have the power to influence, which is really, again, another form of narcissist, right? When people, and this person is in a trauma bond connection that they want to get out of. I just was told that. And they want to get out of it. But again, they're in getting out of it, they're going to change the dynamic of the entire business or situation. And that's creating a lot of anxiety. It's creating a lot of, for everyone else that's connected, because no one wants to deal with the other person either. They're like, well, if this person leaves, well, we're going to have to deal with you, and we don't really want to deal with you. So it's almost like every man for himself. There's a lot of like betrayal going on behind the scenes, I feel like. And so again, past lover, this is your trigger. It's like you're sitting here and you're like, you don't know the whole story because they haven't told you. You just know that they're not around you. Again, you just know that they're not around you, that they're not giving anything to you. And it's because of the past. And obviously, if you're not here, it has to be because of thing again, like you're cheating, but I don't really feel like this person is cheating. I feel as if that karmic that's in the trauma bond with your person wants you to believe that they're cheating because they let everybody know that they wanted to leave because they said, I have other people, I have someone in my life, and they were being influenced by like, don't leave, don't change, you're going to be foolish, you're going to like ruin your finances, you're going to ruin, but really your person already has. They don't see, they're unaware because they were so busy trying to fit in with these people and put these people on a pedestal because of how they felt about themselves, that they actually locked themselves in, which is again why this person is so angry right now. Once again, gaslighting. So, and I feel like there's a part of you that's like, you were cheating on me. You're like, where I don't believe your person was cheating on you. I believe again that karmic is gaslighting you, and your person is embarrassed that they can't get away from that situation, why they have to say, I'm going to leave, and in leaving, I'm going to leave everything behind. I'm not going to have any money. I'm not going to have anything, because that's essentially what this karmic connection, past trauma bond, karmic connection is. It's living the same karmic theme. So your person's stuck in the place of shame. So because they're stuck in a place of shame, because they're like, someone owns my life, I don't know, how did I get into this situation? How did I get here? Like, and I feel like that happens when we continue in karmic cycles. And so your person had an opportunity to get out of that karmic cycle. And I feel like to be with you at one time, but they were tricked and they were manipulated. And because again, they were swayed by the people that are around them, influenced to stay. It wasn't just the karmic. And in that, it was like everybody tricked them. And now they're like, I'm stuck. So this is why I feel like, again, your person is in hiding, like that. It's like they picked up and they left. It's because of that situation. And I also feel like it's something significant. Like if your person was to leave, like they would like lose even more money, they would lose their house, they'll go to court, there'll be something where they're bound. And I feel like it's because for a long time, the person that's connected to you lived a double life. They just dealt with that karmic, but then went and did whatever they wanted to do. And the karma kind of looked the other way, but knew, but would make up for it by buying things, by again justifying. And then what happened is that your person's like, I don't want to be with you. And now this trauma bond is like, oh, like hell, like hell. And but your person had the opportunity to get out, and that karmic pulled them back in and thought that they won. It's like what I feel like is that the karmic is so angry that they're the ones that are so angry because your person is like not budging. It's like they're like, okay, I'm here, you have me here, but I'm still not going to give you anything, nothing, because your person tends to have that avoidance style. So this is why you don't really feel your person. Again, everything is past. Look, I had a hard time of letting go of the past, and it plays out in the chaos in the relationships. This is all, again, like all about them pretty much. So you want to know why you're not coming up in their reading. You're not coming up in their reading. I mean, they're not coming where you're with them is what I mean. Like you're not coming up in their reading because this is what's going on. So we have to say, what does your person really feel down deep inside for you? Because obviously, like the karmic is going nuts because they don't know who it is, but they clearly say, well, if you're not like caving back to me, then there's somebody else. And they're getting more like jealous, crazy. Trauma bonds are that way. Trauma bonds are not fun. I wish I could say what I really feel. Someday I will, but right now I'm afraid to be myself. Again, and that's like I said, because their situation, they're like, you might not like me if you realize that like how like I'm in the situation. It's like I don't know how I got into this situation that they're and it's almost like a mind fuck for them because it's also not just shame, but it's betrayal. It's betrayal because that karmic lured them back in. And then, it wasn't just them, it was like they got help. They got help because that karmic influenced that whether it's the family, whether it's people in business, but influenced them, not help. But the thing is, your person is angry because they know. It's not that they don't know, they're afraid to do something. This situation is pushing them to change. It's like, again, we are coming into union. I feel like 1111, like this is supposed to happen. This is a spiritual thing that needs to happen. So you may be like, I don't really feel like this is my person because they're connected to someone else. Well, I kind of feel like when 1111 shows up, it actually is a soulmate twin flame card. And if your person's in a trauma bond relationship, it would take that type of relationship to get them out. One that they just wouldn't be able to resist. And that, again, is what's making the karmic go nuts. It's very difficult when you're in a karmic trauma bond relationship to tell the difference between what is a twin flame and what is a trauma bond because it's almost like in the beginning, that person is the other half and there's a high. The problem is that the high doesn't last. And the entire relationship is all about getting it back to that high where one person continues to try and try and try and try and try. And I believe that that is not your person. It was the person that is connected to your person that wants so badly for this to work and is like going nuts now because they feel like, again, they're losing their person because they're like, can't manipulate all the little games that they played for so long to keep them bound. They couldn't manipulate this time back. And I feel like because it's divine, 1111 means it's divine, it's awakening, where your person's realizing like I've been unaware for so long. Who am I around? Like, what life am I living? Like, maybe I should just leave with nothing but the shirt on my back, and it would still be better than whatever this is. Again, I'm going through physical, emotional ascension symptoms. I need space to rest, but from a higher perspective, I'm releasing old energy, and this is what we're talking about. 1111. It's like almost like the awakening. And are you part of that? Yeah, because it's like I can tell the difference between a trauma bond and a real soulmate twin flame. It's not that you don't piss me off and trigger me, this person says to you, Scorpio. However, it's like I always want to come back. It's like it always feels natural. There's unconditional love here where you don't make me do anything I want to do for you, opposed to this person that's like, again, the trauma bond is you're going to do for me. This person, whether they're a woman, they stepped into that, or a man, they stepped into their masculine energy because it's like, I'm going to control you. I'm going to control you. And I'm going to gaslight and manipulate and do whatever I can. But it doesn't matter because your person is already checked out, and that's what they're learning. That's what that karmic is learning. It's like, I can keep you captive, but you're still not with me. You're still there. You're physically here, but you emotionally, mentally have checked out. So you're not here, and they're not, because they're awakening. They're changing. It's not even like a choice. It's a spiritual thing that happens. When we're talking, things just come out of my mouth, and afterwards, I'm not even sure why to say them. So they feel, again, very comfortable with you. They feel, again, like you're home. And that's how they know. You show up in my dreams. It helps me process buried memories, of course, past life connection. Again, all to help this person to awaken into like the person they're supposed to be, because it's actually this karmic is hindering them. It's holding them back. It's holding them back from their true potentiality. It's almost like this person learned the spiritual lesson, and now God is interfering and saying, enough. You've been with this person long enough. They don't want to be with you. You have to accept. You can't manipulate. And it's, again, because the twin flame relationship. It's like, it's almost like we see, is that even possible? It is possible, because understand, twin flames come into our lives during the biggest transitions of our lives. So leaving a karmic bond, a trauma bond connection, whether this person was married, whether this person can just live with this person or had an on-off relationship for 20 years, breaking away from that is difficult because there's so many different emotions. Your person doesn't even know what they were feeling. And that is how the trauma bond was able to stay bonded. I keep you confused. I keep you confused. So you don't know what you want, what you feel, especially since, again, you got into this trauma bond because you grew up, again, putting your parents' needs first, again, being on that rescue mission. So I'm going to act like the damsel in distress. I'm going to keep you confused where you think that until again you came along and it's like they're like, I can tell the difference. I couldn't tell the difference before, which is why again the karmic is like the shebang is over. It's like it's making that person go literally ape shit crazy. So I don't believe that your person's anywhere near you right now. Again, ascension, they need their time, they need their space. They need to, they're looking at things from a higher perspective, which is, you know what? I have to walk away from the money. I have to walk away from like the things that I've created here and in order for my freedom. But with my freedom, I can create the life that I want. I can have love in my life. I can have a partner where this trauma bond isn't a partnership. It's this person controlling my life and me giving them, feeding them. Again, because I'm guilted, because I think they keep me in shame, the same energy that I have. So again, the divine got involved, and we have to say, oh, well, why did you attract this person into your life? Because it's like, well, this person isn't here for me, like right now. And Spirit says 1111 means divine time, which means only in divine time. 1111, that this is a spiritual connection. And it's because there has to be an intervention. And that intervention is happening during a time of transition in your life, Scorpio. So whether you're leaving a relationship, whether again, you're moving out of your house, whether there's again, change of job, there's something that this person's showing up in your life. And so again, we have to say anyway, that they're healing, because ascension pretty much means that you're, shedding the old and awakening to the new. And so we have to say again, 1111, there has to be mirroring energy. What's going on? It's again loner. I feel like that's not necessarily an inner child wound. I kind of feel like being a loner is a gift. But I feel like at one time you've always felt like inadequate because of your gifts, or because you were different, maybe again sensitive, highly sensitive people feel that way, creative people, deep thinkers feel that way. So it's again, I've always felt more comfortable being alone, and so I feel like that's a gift, because when we're alone we can really we're not influenced by anyone, right? Where we can find ourselves, we can create ourselves. Um, because again, but it's not good if we're a loner because we were neglected. So again, these are the inner child wounds. And obviously, if we were neglected, we feel like again, we weren't loved, that we don't fit in, we're not good enough, which again, then we would be alone. But I still can see it being a loner as a gift, because, like I said, when you're alone, you really tap into your intuition. You really are someone that is introverted because you're alone. No, obviously. So you have a rich imagination. You have like very high intuition, creative abilities. You're not afraid to be alone. I feel like you're someone that actually is a leader now, because you had to be your own advocate because you were neglected, whether that's emotionally or physically. People didn't show up for you. Avoidant would be what you were familiar. And as I said, this person does have that style. Again, even though they are not per se really, well, they are actually doing it to you because they don't want to tell you of their imperfections in fear that you won't like them anymore, because they're ashamed of it. They feel shameful of it, where they're avoidant of that person too, that karmic, because they're just like, well, I'm going to starve you out and I'll be here and do what you want, but I'm not going to give you anything. So you're going to make dinner, I'm not going to eat it. You want me to like do something, I'm not going to do anything for you. It's like I'm going to come and go like we're roommates. And that's not what the karmic wants. The karmic's like when you're here, you're not even here. And I feel like when they're there, they drink or they smoke a lot of weed or they do something that they're checked out. So which is making that karmic so angry because it's like emotionally your person is not being affected by them and they're not. And so that's the karmic's like, I know someone's there. And that is again like just creating such toxic, but for you, again, this space, um, magic, right? And that's your magic. You found your magic. And that's the thing. I feel like when we feel like we're a loner, we kind of feel like, again, that odd man out. Like we feel uh awkward. We feel like we don't fit anywhere. So it's almost better to be alone. But there is gifts that come from being alone. Like I said, you become more intuitive, you become more psychic, you become more self-aware. You get other gifts. And so I feel like you found yourself in the space that you and this person are separated. And I believe that you'll use those gifts towards work, towards, and even if you say, well, I'm a business person, but I found my intuition. Well, yeah, you'll use your intuition to help you in your business. Whatever it is that it returned to childhood gifts that you had, that gifts to help you navigate your life as a child, because I believe you grew up in a trauma bond relationship. So not that you have done healing, you have evolved. So you're not going to get into a trauma bond relationship. This person is evolving into a twin flame relationship because they're ready to break the karmic cycle and not be in a trauma bond relationship. Does that mean it's going to be easy for them? No, because it's not going to feel familiar. It's not going to feel comfortable. However, what we know is that a trauma bond relationship has no flexibility, no movement, so it can't go with the flow of life. And when it can go with the flow of life, it becomes where one person needs to control it. And then that begins to corrode the relationship where there's a connection, but the connection becomes toxic. It becomes draining. And so your person, again, is ready to evolve past that. However, it doesn't mean it's going to feel familiar. Healing doesn't feel good. That's why Spirit brought you into their life, someone that has unconditional love for them, that will be patient or will need to learn the spiritual gifts of patience. Because again, that's what unconditional love is. It's patient, it's kind, it's forgiving. And these are things that if you grew up in an environment where you were neglected, you didn't get what you needed, well, those would be spiritual uh, character traits that you would need to learn how to integrate in order for you to become whole, where you'll be like, feel like, well, it's not easy for me to be in this relationship. They trigger me. And Spirit says, but it's about getting to the place of unconditional love. So it'll teach you how to surrender, how to let go and surrender. And that's not something that's easy. That's why the twin flame relationship, there's a lot of passion, not just enough that we change our lives, but ones that actually help us birth new realities, new lives, to help create new lives. So I'm going to end that here, Scorpio, but we are going to ask and say, is there any other energy that we need to pull in to the situation right now? Because I feel like what's there to know if it's twin flame relationship, some of you will be with this person, some of you won't be with this person. You'll be like, I don't care. I don't believe whatever it is. And they've already ruined the connection. And others of you, if it's a real twin flame relationship, though, a lot of times you don't care. You don't care, especially if you created yourself and created a place where you're actually feeling good about yourself. You're like, freedom through faith. I calm my thoughts and rise above fear. I free myself of all the doubt, despite and trusting my doubt to God. I have faith in God's perfect timing. 1111, this person coming back into your life. And placement, I trust his will and find freedom. So again, freedom and the fact that there's faith, right? So if you want love, you need to have the faith that you can have love, but you also have to not have any preconceived notions of what that love looks like, because only God's love is perfect. And we can give ourselves that type of love by creating ourselves, which is what I feel like you started to do, Scorpio. So you've healed and evolved in that area of life, which is business, creation, again, feeling more like rooted in the physical realm, where it looks like your person is getting a spiritual lesson in spirituality, and it's whooping their behind, because it's not easy to break out of a karmic trauma bond relationship. I'll talk to you guys all soon. Thank you, by the way, for all your likes, shares, and subscribes and comments. I really look forward to reading them. Just wanted to put that in there before I end it off, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.